What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the Wise Take MLB DFS Wise Stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I am joined once again by the GOAT, the true OG, that y'all know as Paulie D. You can find him on Twitter at Paulie with 8 of them bitches. Paulie, what's happening?
Hey, man, what's happening?
Just another day, man. Just another day. Not another night, but another day. You got them NBA sweats going or what?
I know.
I think you're fiending for a win, Paulie. I think we're fiending for a big hit tonight.
I need that, man.
Welcome. For those of you who haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. It really helps us out. It allows us to continue to do dirties on the YouTube and Twitch networks.
Yeah, we need that like, man.
Yo, hook it up with a like.
Do it.
So those of you who play FanDuel, we're going to try to give you guys a quick rundown of the first game separately, and then we'll kind of go on from there. Just because I know that FanDuel decided to move their lock up with the game time of Washington. I don't know why they included it to begin with, but they moved it up to 6:30 instead of 7:05 like it was originally supposed to be, because the Baltimore and Washington teams decided to move their game up by half an hour, probably for weather purposes. So we're going to go ahead and run through that game, and then we will go through our usual pitchers, stacks, and take it home from there. Is there anything in that game, this Washington-Baltimore game, which is in Baltimore, I think it's Tommy Milone against Strasburg, that you would want?
Strasburg got ejected from the crowd the other day.
Yeah, from the crowd. Yeah, man.
Trey Turner's pretty hot. Juan Soto, even lefty on lefty, I don't mind. Howie Kendrick. The team, was impressive. Hitters ballpark. I'd say the Nationals bats are in play if you're playing on FanDuel. But that's, I like other spots better. But if there was anything to be of interest, it'd be that.
I 100% agree. I'm not crazy about the game in general. On FanDuel, I'm kind of just going around it. But yeah, if there was a team, if there was a situation, was something I wanted, it'd be the Nationals bats in that Baltimore Park against Maloney. Other than that, Paulie, let's talk about some pitchers that you do like. We'll start with the guys up top. We have a few guys up top. We no longer have Jacob deGrom. We just lost Tyler Chatwood. They're dropping like flies, bro. It's NBA status. Any pitcher you want to spend up for?
I mean, Garrett Cole, is fine. Well, I like Framber Valdez. I don't know if that's technically spend up or not. If over 8K, over 9. I like Aaron Chivali. He's like 9.6 on DK, or 9.3 on DK, and Garrett Cole. Those three.
Yep, no, I agree. I had those other guys separated to the mid tier, but yeah, Garrett Cole number 1 would be my cash game choice. My tournament choice is Savali. He's been awesome. Tigers number 1 in strikeouts against righties already. So yeah, Savali's my tournament guy. Garrett Cole would be the cash game guy, and he's fine for tournaments. I just think he's gonna be popular. And then just like I'll bleed into the mid tier just a little bit before I kick it back to you. Framber Valdez, one of my favorite pitchers on the slate. Right, he's his. Not only does he have strikeout stuff and does he have a decent swing and strike rate, it's really his 60-something% ground ball rate that just makes you feel so damn safe. And he's playing a Seattle team that is like 6th or something like that, or maybe it's 8th in strikeouts to lefty so far this year. So I'm with you. Framber's one of my favorite pitchers. It's not that if I could afford Savali, you could afford Cole, and sure, I'm just saying, me in my head thinking I got to get some bats in, I'm thinking how can I save some money, and I'm cool with Framber, for sure. What other mid-tier guys did you mention? Guys in the 8K range.
So Woodruff, with the positive weather for pitchers against the Cubs, I could get behind that too at 8.2. And as I trickle down a little further, I think you could take a stab at Pablo Lopez. He'll either give up 4 runs in the first or go like 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, nice start. But if you're starved for something in that mid tier, like I'm all right with him. Patrick Sandoval. I don't mind taking a lefty against the Dodgers. And after Betts went nuts last night, no one will probably use Sandoval. Jesus Luzardo at 7.8. I'm sure they won't let him throw a ton, but the guy is a stud. And it's San Fran, who started off the year hot, but seemed to be cooling off, except Yastrzemski. And I'd say that's probably my entire pitching pool right there.
Yeah, you already covered guys that I'm looking. You talked about Woodruff already, who, like you said, this is a rematch for Woodruff. Dude's got a 37% K rate. He just threw the ball. He's got wins supporting him over in Wrigley. Much better park than the last time you saw these Cubs. Like Woodruff in the mid tier, Luzardo, like you said, taking the place of Frankie Montas. He has a great park to work with. He just threw on August 9th. He made a start against the Astros. He did really well considering it was the Astros, and he threw 89 pitches. So I think he's stretched out enough to where if he's on, you could just go. And in fact, he's probably in my opinion, the cash game SP2, especially if you are getting Cole, you're gonna need somebody cheap. He would be my pick, being as how he has a great park, and he's got nasty shit. I know he's young, but he's got nasty shit. But for tournaments, I like Pablo Lopez as a guy to save some money with. Man, you already discussed him, but I like Pablo today and Jep Hippiz, and I'm hoping that the Braves strike out a ton. Pablo looked really good so far this year. They got a nice pitcher's park to work with, so I'll be playing some Pablo for show paired up. So how much Cole do you think you're going to end up playing?
I've got 6 teams. He'll probably be on 1, maybe 2.
That's exactly where I am. Not that I don't think Cole's going to do well. I do think he'll do well. I think the Red Sox are terrible right now. But I think I'm going to need the money, and we have so many other pitchers that I think I could save, trim off the top a little bit. I got the same strategy. I'll have some, but not as much as not enough to justify how good of a pitcher he is. It's more so about just like, hey, let's get dirty. It's dirty dickin'. What else? Just, that's it. What about stacks, man? What about the bets?
Yeah, so I like Minnesota quite a bit against June Dog and whatever they got opening. What's his name? Guy is terrible.
Who are you talking about?
The Padres. Huh?
Well, my bad. I didn't hear what you said the first time.
Ian Kennedy, I think, is opening for them, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh no. Ian Kennedy's opening for the Royals.
Royals, right?
Twins.
Because I like Minnesota Bats.
Yeah. Okay, you said Minnesota Bats. Okay.
It's Minnesota Bats against Royals. Yeah.
Let's go.
Texas Rangers Bats.
Hold on one second. Before you continue, let's discuss Minnesota real quick. Just because I'm not sure if they know that's a very there's 2 games with weather concerns. It's Cincinnati and it's Minnesota. There's gonna be a storm that's rolling in the middle of the game, so Roth is pretty sure there's gonna be some sort of delay. The question is, are they gonna suspend the game and just call it, or are they gonna the rules are a little bit different this year. They could just call games and decide to just not resume them. So we'll have to, just a heads up, that's going to lower the ownership of the Twins, who are implied for almost 6 runs. We're one of the higher totals on the slate. They're going to see Kennedy as the opener, then Jake Junis. 2 guys that they could definitely hit. They led the league in homers last year. So I'm only stressing this because I was contemplating whether or not to put the Twins in my article. I decided not to because there were other offenses I liked also. But they're in a phenomenal spot. It's just a matter of sweating the weather. And apparently Roth compared it to the Philly game yesterday, and he was saying that he doesn't think people realize how close the Philly game was to getting postponed. Like, apparently there was a storm that was literally 5 miles away that would have ended the game, and it missed the park. With that said, Paulie, continue with the offenses.
The Rangers and Coors, Joey Gallo, Sin-Shu Chu, Willie Cal, any of the cheap guys, like Nick Solak or whatever. He's probably not even that cheap anymore. In Coors against a young pitcher, I think, if there's ever a spot for this Rangers team to get going, this would be it. The Houston Astros, they finally get the Yordan Alvarez back in the lineup. Alex Bregman's heating up. You got Altuve back there, Springer, Kyle Tucker, Correa, Yuli Gurriel, some murderous lineup. I don't know how good they are, if they were just boosted by cheating all those years, or if they actually are talented, but like this spot quite a bit. Padres in Arizona, roof open. Merrill Kelly, reverse splits pitcher. Padres red fucking hot as a team. And, it's kind of like late breaking that the roof is going to be open. It's 100 and something degrees there. And the Padres are just red hot. And the Arizona bullpen is not very good. So, hope to get them very low ownership. They're expensive too. I like that. I think that is all. I also like the Cleveland Indians too against Ivan Nova. If you want to do some little something there, there's probably a couple cheapies like Kyler Naquin and Domingo Santana. If you need to try to build in an expensive lineup around that. I don't want to go on and on and on, but the Mets are probably interesting too. And maybe some of those guys at the bottom of the order, Jimenez and Willie Ramos, Robbie Cano, help you fit in like a Padres or a Rangers or a Twin stack. But San Diego, Houston, Texas, Minnesota, Cleveland. Those are the ones I will final answer.
Yeah, I got a couple that I had on my list too, and then a couple to add. The Rangers, definitely one of them. This is a phenomenal spot. They've been terrible, but they profile really well against this kid. He's a young kid. I don't think he has terrible stuff, but if you look at his AAA stuff, he was in a park with elevation, and he just didn't do well. He's got some strikeout shit, but he gives up home runs. His xFIP just, it's tough when he's pitching. I think he's going to be pretty good on the road, and he's going to struggle at home like most Colorado pitchers. With that said, he relies on a sinker a pretty good amount of the time. We know that pitch is not nearly as effective in cores, and Shin-Soo Choo, Calhoun, Gallo, Odor, even Solak, all those guys profiled extremely well against this pitcher, plus the Rocky bullpen. They're the Coors team. I'm not really playing the Rockies. It's really the Rangers that I'm going to be rolling with. These Padres have quietly become one of my favorite stacks. It's something we realized before the show. They're opening their roof, and I did miss that. I've been avoiding Merrill Kelly because that guy just trolled the shit out of us last year, and I just can't get over it. I just don't think he's good. I just don't think he's any good. I don't understand how it kills me. But he shut down the Padres in San Diego the other day. Now they're playing in Arizona, and I'm looking at the D-backs website right now, and it says the roof is open today. So with that said, I'm gonna be playing the Padres against Kelly. A couple teams to add. You mentioned the Mets. I will have some Mets shares going up against this young Philly pitcher that gave up 2 home runs and 4 earned runs against the Braves in his last start. We got a lot of lefties in this lineup. I will, and Pete Alonso, by the way, also Merck sliders. This dude relies heavily on sliders to right-handed pitching. Pete Alonso does dirties to sliders. The New York Yankees, and I was actually curious to hear your input on the Yankees. They're basically a bullpen game. They got Brewer. A lot of righties in the Yankee lineup, but we still got some guys, man. And Clint Frazier obviously has always got something to prove when he's up here. What are your thoughts on the Yankees today?
Yeah, so I don't like Judge being on the DL. Stanton's gone, but a Frazier, Gary Sanchez is actually about to go off. So Gary Sanchez, Clint Frazier. You want to add like a Tauchman or Gardner. 3-man stack probably at the most for me. I just like other spots better, but I do really particularly like Gary Sanchez today.
Gary Sanchez. I see in the chat here that Tony A says the Reds game is dry now. I'll take a look at any updated weather information. But in the meantime, I see some of you guys saying that FanDuel's not working. It's working on the computer. I just pulled it up on the thing over here, so maybe the mobile app's not working. Sometimes the apps crash and shit. But if you're around a computer and you need to change your team, I know some of you guys are sweating out there because you got about less than 15 minutes to make those moves. But it is working. Over here, no problem. No problem. Let me put up this weather real quick. And then the last team I'll talk about, and small exposure. They're probably my least favorite. Just a team that I want to get a little bit of. It's actually the Marlins, man. They're home in Miami, not a great park, but they're going up against Kyle Wright, who's terrible. And the Marlins, man, they're playing motivated. I don't know if it's the COVID or whatever it is. They must have went to a bomb ass strip club because they started off the season just fire. And this Kyle Wright kid's not good, so they're going to be low. And if you want to spend up, if you're looking for a team that's cheap because you want to spend up on pitching today, take a shot on the Marlins. But the Padres and Rangers are definitely my 2 favorites. Let me check this out because
Who's your favorite cheap pitcher to pair with Cole if you're
Pablo.
Still looking for an expensive stack.
It's Pablo.
Nobody cheaper?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Alec Mills is like 8K. That kind of sucked. I guess, honestly.
Yeah. Would you give Walter Lockett a shot?
Who?
Walter Lockett, the Mets pitcher?
Nah, not against the Phillies. The Phillies are striking out like the least out of anybody this year. I just, if I thought there was at least some strikeout potential, to be honest, it's going to sound crazy because I'm stacking the Mets today. But if I was going to take it, I didn't care and like fuck the world, it's Howard against the Mets. Because that Howard kid, he's jumping straight from AA, but he had pretty good numbers in AA. So most pitchers jump up from AA, they're just not ready. But if in the event there was a team for him to succeed against, as a Met fan, I can tell you it'd probably be the Mets. I don't think he's going to succeed. I'm not playing him. I'm actually stacking the Mets against him. But that's that. I mean, at least he's got some sort of pedigree. I think he's stretched out enough. He was a starter. I don't think I'd mess with any of these other dudes.
For sure.
Holla. Let me check on that weather. I pulled up the wrong damn weather thing. Weather. Looking for my weather. Gotta get that weather. Okay, so yeah, he did. Cincinnati was updated. Increasingly likely that Cincinnati is just totally dry. So that's good. So positive there. Any interest in Sonny Gray?
Not really. But I do kind of like some Cincy bats. But we got so many bats we like. But I do think Jesse Winker particularly is a good one-off. Bandsaw ballpark, bad pitcher on the mound for the Pirates.
For sure.
Add it to the list of good offenses we got today.
It's a massive slate. There's going to be plenty of options. And to the Minnesota game, still on track to have a line of stores moving in around first pitch. But the most likely outcome is a late start and play. So again, you could still get Minnesota at low ownership just because people might see the weather and kind of get scared off. But yeah, so I don't know. I might mix up some of these offenses a little bit to do dirties with. But I'm playing more offenses. Usually I only do like 5 teams. I'm playing like maybe 6 or 7 today because there's not teams. Stacks, like the different stacks I'll work in. But today I expanded it. This slate's just too damn big. Holla. Let me see if there's any questions. I saw Joey said something in there about it being like very humid in California again, and Southern California again.
Yeah.
I know we saw the Dodgers that game had a litany of home runs in it.
Litany.
That day.
You're so litness.
You like that?
Hey man, stop being so litness with me.
You like that? Tony A says, "Are the Marlins low owned?" I think so. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's playing. On this slate with all the great offenses, I don't think a ton of people are playing them. Tony A also says, "How about Alec Mills with the wind blowing in Wrigley?"
Yeah, he's fine. He's a little pricey though, but yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I agree. He's fine. I would have preferred him to be cheaper too, but he's fine. I'm not adding him to the pool. I like my other guys better. I don't like him any more than the other ones, but he's okay. I wouldn't talk anybody off him. All right. Well, let me see. I don't see any other questions.
Homers.
Oh, yeah, the Dong Watch. Good call, Paulie. You on the game. On the ball. I'm not on the ball, clearly. Had a little too much medicine before the show. Homers?
Hey, man, who's going to hit a home run today? Give me Jordan Alvarez in his return.
Alvarez in a return. I'm digging it. I'll go with Polar Bear Pete. All day.
Polar Bear.
All day.
Give me Joey Gallo.
Ah, you bastard. I'll take Calhoun then. I can't have. I like both of those guys. If I can't have Gallo, I'll take Calhoun.
And I'll take Francisco Lindor.
Shit. Think about that one. Shit. I'll take. Give me Tatis, man. It's about time he wakes his ass up. Give me Tatis.
Yeah, good call.
Tatisa.
Dodgers.
All right. MG trying to call people out. I see you, MG. Talking about medicine. Yeah. You know what it is.
Yeah.
Hit that like button on your way out, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out. It's a big slate. Don't drive yourself crazy. Just kind of take your stands. Play light if you have to, if you're unsure. And we'll have another crack at it tomorrow. For sure. This is the last show of the week. We will be back at it Monday with more baseball, but we'll still continue to provide outstanding content at wisetape.com for those of you who are subscribed over there. We got promo codes all over the place, so take advantage. Book your ticket to Screenshot City at wisetape.com. Anything in closing, Paulie?
Yeah, man, good luck tonight. I'll be there too with Screenshot City. I like that place.
For Paulie D, for myself, the entire Wise Tech Nation, as always, good luck.
Peace.